Is the new symbiote hive mind team all they're cracked up to be? Are they going to be dominant in the raids and outside of it, or are they going to be a massive disappointment? In this video, we have the reveal of the full kits for Void Knight and Gwenom, and the reworks of Carnage and Venom. And if you're ready for all that Valley Club, then you need to do find that like button and let's go smash it. And welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. I hope you're having a great day. In this video, we're going to go onto the test server, take a look at the kits for Void Knight and Gwenom, and we're going to take a look at the reworks for Carnage and Venom. And the word is, in about 2 hours from this video going live, all of these kits reworks should be on the live server so you can see them for yourself in the game or on marvelstrikeforce.com. But before we get to the reveals, if this is your first time here on the channel, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content, at least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on the channel, reveal videos, gameplay videos, question answer videos, news videos, everything to help your experience in Marvel Strike Force. But let's jump right onto the test server and take a look at Void Knight. Now, the mini unique for Void Knight is going to be these augmented alien spores. Same thing, unfortunately, for Venom. A lot of these symbiote characters are going to take this same thing, so start saving up all these alien spores. As far as the speed for these characters, the speed for Gwenom is 120, and the speed for Void Knight all the way down here as at, where is it, as 113. So not super fast characters, but they are gaining speed, especially through that Carnage passive. Taking a look at all their kits though, let's start with the basic of Void Knight. Gonna attack the primary target 270% damage, flipping 3 negative effects into positive effects on self. And if this character has no negative effects, flipping 3 positive effects into negative effects on the primary target instead. And in raids, always flipping 3 positive effects and negative effects on the primary target, regardless if the character has any negative effects. This attack, it cannot be counterattacked. And the T4 is gonna add 70% damage to the primary target. And what the ISO 8 attack is gonna do, it's gonna do the same effects, but the damage is gonna go from 340 total with a T4 in there to 225% damage plus 17% piercing. So a little bit different, but the effects are gonna be the same on that ISO 8 and counterattack chance. The special 6-turn cooldown in the rage, you're gonna steal 3 ability energy from the primary target. So you're gonna be wanted to pay attention to what the cooldowns are on the major enemies in that bio section of the raids there. You're also going to attack the primary and adjacent targets, 270% piercing, also applying defense down for 2 turns. This attack cannot be counterattacked, and the T4 is going to do 80% piercing to the primary and secondary targets. Outside of the rage, you're going to steal up to 1 ability energy from the primary target instead of 3 in the raids. So it's going to give you a little bit more value outside of the raids for Void Knight. The ultimate 5-turn cooldowns, pulling enemies up to 2 spaces towards the primary target, so it has that Magneto Polaris type effect. Then you're going to attack the primary targets within 2 spaces for 250% damage, plus flipping 3 negative effects into positive effects on all targets, flipping all positive effects on all Spider-Verse enemies, and applying ability block to the primary targets in the raids, applying ability blocks to all targets. Man, that's a lot of ability blocks. And this attack gains 5,000% extra focus. It is unavoidable, cannot be counterattacked. And what the T4 is going to do, it's going to do 70% damage to all enemies and applying ability block for 2 turns to the primary target. Very, very strong move, and has that 5-turn cooldown. The passive, the long passive, guys, on spawn, filling this character's speed bar by 25%. At the end of any turn, heal for 3% of this character's max health. When an enemy takes damage from bleed, heal self and all hive mind characters for 10% of this character's max health. So yeah, you're gonna want to get stars in this character as quick as possible, because the healing is gonna be based on Void Knight's actual health. Gain 60% max health. Hive mind characters are gonna gain 30% max health and gain 60% armor. Hive mind characters are gonna gain 30% armor in the raids on spawn. Always applying speed up to self and all hive mind allies on spawn. Applying slow to the enemy with the highest speed. Enemies cannot gain immunity. Hive mind allies gaining additional 30% max health. That is that additional 30% that they're missing. They're gaining that in the raids. Also gaining that armor in the raids. And what the T4 is going to do on spawn, generate 2 ability energy for all hive mind allies. And also on spawn, generating an ability energy plus an additional ability energy per hive mind ally for this character. So yeah, a lot of ability energy flying around from Void Knight. Used to be a very, very good character, important addition to this team. I started Void Knight off as a raider, but of course we don't have the full kit for Red Goblin yet, so we don't know the full kit for this full team. So it may switch. But moving on to Gwenom, she is the brawler of this team, adding a lot of damage. Starting off with her basic, she's going to attack the primary and adjacent targets, 240% damage, flipping 2 positive effects to negative effects, applying defense down, applying 2 bleeds to the primary target, and in the raids, applying ability energy to self and all hive mind allies. The T4 is also going to clear barrier on the primary and adjacent targets, adding 80% damage to the primary and secondary targets. And you're doing pretty much all of the same stuff with the ISO 8 and counter chance. The damage is slightly different though. You're going to attack the primary target and adjacent targets, 240% damage at the max level instead of the 320% damage at the max level, but you're also going to add that 17% piercing as well. Moving on to the special 4-turn cooldown, you're going to gain the opposite of all negative effects, excluding bleed on the primary target. You're going to attack the primary target 320% damage and applying stun. You're going to attack the adjacent targets for 320% damage. You're going to generate an ability energy for self and all hive mind allies, and in the raids, spreading 3 positive effects, excluding stealth, taunt, regeneration from self to all hive mind allies. So the placement of her is going to matter. And what the T4 is going to do, you're going to apply a stun for 2 turns in the raids, spreading all positive effects, excluding stealth, taunt, and regeneration. So yes, very, very good special. Very good T4 for this special as well. Moving on to the ultimate, it is a 5-turn cooldown, but you're only starting with 3 ability energy. You should get a lot of that back with Void Knight though. You're gonna clear all barrier on from all targets, attacking all enemies, 310% damage on applying offense down for 2 turns. You're also gonna apply offense up and defense up to self and all hive mind allies and Spider-Verse allies. And in the raids, applying stun to the enemy with the highest damage, ignoring taunt and stealth, generating ability energy for self and all hive mind allies. This attack gains 100% extra focus per symbiote ally. And what the T4 is going to do, bury yourself and all hive mind allies and Spider-Verse allies for 15% of this character's max health, plus 90% damage to all enemies. And the passive, well, it is a long one. On turn, heal self and all symbiote allies for 5% of this character's max health. When this character's health is above 50%, gain 15% dodge chance. When this character's health is below 50%, gain 30% drain. I like that. When it's above 50% health, you're gonna get more opportunity to keep that 50% health. And when you're lower than 50% health, you're gaining some of that back with a drain. I like this passive. Strong passive. 60% extra focus. Hive mind and Spider-Verse allies also gaining 60% extra focus. And when this character or a hive mind ally drops below 50% health, applying 2 evades to that character. So I like that both of these characters, Gwenom and Void Knight, help to keep the survivability of your team. When you take damage from bleeds, Void Knight's gonna heal them, and when you drop below 50% health, Gwenom's gonna apply some evades. So very, very good for these characters. Moving on to the reworks for Venom and Carnage. They look very similar to what we saw a few weeks ago when this was revealed a little early. The devs did go back and make changes to the kit. However, the stats did stay the same. And again, this is going to be live 2 hours after me releasing this. It's going to be live on the main server. So yeah, if you want to start to use Venom and Carnage to test out that bio section, you guys can. But as far as the stat increases, Venom, his health went up by 51%, damage went up by 57%, armor went up by 30%, focus going up by 47%, resistance up by 42%, and speed going up by 14%. As far as the basic, not many changes to the basic. The damage did go up from 230 to 280. And as far as the speed, that got added, filling the speed bar by 20% every time he does his basic. The attack cannot be dodged was added to the ISO 8 encounter and assist chance. And yeah, the damage did get a little different as far as this. So that went up. As far as the special violate, well, we got a lot of stuff happening here. The heal block for 2 turns, that was fully added. The damage and ability block stays the same, but in the raids, all the stuff was added. Bonus attacking that primary target for 380% damage, prolonging all negative effects on the primary target by 1 up to a maximum of 3. This attack cannot be dodged, so all that stuff got added to the specials, so significantly better. You're still getting the bleeds and the damage though. The ultimate corruption. Well, the damage went up from 230 to 320. So you're taking primary target and adjacent targets 320 instead of 230. Offense down was added. You did have the heal block, but now offense down for 2 turns is added. You're still going to spread the negative effects from the primary targets to the adjacent targets, but you're also going to clear all negative effects from self and the most injured ally. and this attack cannot be dodged. And the passive Symbiosis got a major rework. He's still gonna heal, he's still gonna get some extra focus, but now he's affecting his entire team, applying defense up for 2 turns herself and all symbiote allies, gaining 10% speed to a maximum of 30% speed. When an enemy gains heal block, apply counter to self, and 1 random ally does not have counter. And while this character or any Spider-Verse ally has counter, those characters are gonna gain 20% crit chance. So Venom, decent character already, got better. As far as the reworks for Carnage, well, he got his stats increased as well. His health went up by 44%. His damage went up by 62%. Armor up by 30%. Focus up by 39%. Resistance up by 42%. And his abilities, his special Slaughter. Well, all these raid effects are new. Everything else is the same. Still attacking the primary target, 420% damage, more damage per negative effect. But in the raids, well, you're not going to remove the negative effects from the primary targets. They're still going to stay there. So you're doing all that additional damage and attacking all adjacent targets for 420% damage instead of that 250% damage. So makes it a lot better. The ultimate got a lot better as well. All the stuff in both is brand new. If the primary target is above 50% health, applying Disrupted for 2 turns and Bleed for 2 turns. The primary target is below 50% health, you can apply offense down for 2 turns, defense down for 2 turns, slow for 2 turns, gaining offense up for 2 turns, defense up for 2 turns, speed up for 2 turns. So yeah, hopefully when you do this move, you're setting this up nicely so that the primary target is below 50% health. And the passive was pretty good, still retains that. When an enemy is dropping below 25% health, more speed for herself and all symbiote allies, and the rest of the stuff is brand new. On kill, applying vulnerable to the enemy with the lowest resistance that does not have vulnerable, and when an enemy has taunt, gaining 50% crit damage. And that is the symbiotes, guys. Carnage and Venom's reworks got a lot better. Void Knight, Gwenom looked very, very good. We still don't know the full kit for Red Goblin, and I guess that's going to be when we could do the full assessment of this full Hive Mind team, how good this team's going to be in the raids, how good they're going to be outside the raids. But let me know your thoughts on this Hive Mind team as we know it now. And as this video did give you some value and some clarity on what you want to do with this new Hive Mind team, leave it a like. It is free for you and it tremendously helps out the channel. And if you want to see what are the best teams to take into 2024, make sure you check out the video up there. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out.